live on YouTube right now. It's not pulling from OBS Studio, which is a problem on my end, most likely. But hey, we're gonna roll with the punches because that's what we do. All right. First off, let's talk about this right here, right now. As I was going through the news here, I saw that some more things we were talk that I want to talk about, which was this about the Georgia lineman, Mr. Willock, that was unfortunately killed, died in a tragic car crash, and the Chandler LeCoy female staffer. Now, I was pretty, convinced that this did not happen on company hours, or I guess on athletic department hours from the University of Georgia. Um, and it's very intriguing because now I guess it's been several weeks into the investigation. The University of Georgia has pretty much come out to say that um, we can assure you that this happened uh, not on university hours, but the vehicle that they used or that was being driven, the 2021 Ford Explorer, in the investigation showed that um, it was under the department's, I guess it was leased by, UGA's department athletic staff. So that seemed to me that it may be a situation, allegedly, that the staffer who was female may have had access to get the keys to this rental, this leased SUV that was under UGA's, uh, you know, uh, name, University of Georgia. It's very similar to how we things in the military, how we rent vehicles out. We can only drive these vehicles, regular vehicles with regular license plates. Only some of us have certain access to these to this to these vehicles, and it just reminded me how you know you guys have to be very careful when I'm gonna say this very carefully. Whoever works within that department with the young lady that died, I'm telling you right now, they are going to be heavily scrutinized, and they're probably going to be investigated as to who all had access to the keys to these leased vehicles that was in the University of Georgia Bulldogs name. How did this happen? Because that vehicle is not in her name, his name, none of those people's names that died in that car crash. Um, that's what seemed to be obvious to me. And again, we don't know the blood alcohol, the blood drug test that they still have yet to release. I'm sure for various legal reasons. However, um, that's all I want to say about that. I don't want to go into much further and start putting out things for people to misconstrue my words. Nevertheless, moving on, Ed Reed had this to say about Shannon Sharp on Twitter. Basically, he calls out. So Senator Sharp, Skip it was on the street this morning, were basically talking about how Ed Reed was let go by Bethune Cookman. I think I'm saying that right. University, and Shannon Sharp was pretty much going off about Ed Reed. Hey man, you can't do this. You can't go blast the administration out on you know social media. There are there's proper channels, proper ways to do this. Well, Ed Reed pretty much snapped on him and said, "Hey Shannon, you don't know me. Just because you sit up there on the show and talk about knowing me through Dion, that's not knowing me." So basically calls Shannon Sharp, phony. Shannon Sharp's been taking a hit left and right this week as again, that situation that happened this past weekend, that elder brother, hey, Dylan Brooks, John Morant, Steven Adams, John's father got into it. Um, Next thing you know, Monday, he apologizes. So Shannon Sharp is really, I guess he's taking it from both sides right now, from former NFL players and from current NBA players. It's not a good look for anybody that's a fan of Shannon Sharp. I thought it was very intriguing that Ed Reed had that to say about Shannon Sharp, just going in on him this today actually on Twitter. It was kind of comical, um, but nevertheless, I do agree with the fact that Shannon Sharp stated, and I stated, and I think it's common sense. You cannot, when you have it, number one, Ed Reed, before you knew about, it seems to me Ed Reed did not even actually sign the contract and was on the campus for 20 plus days, getting things in order, trying to get his, office situated. So he wasn't officially the head coach of this, HBCU. But Ed, did you not take a tour of the campus before you verbally committed to those kids? Because I know, hey, kudos to that brother for wanting to lead young men on the field as great football players and off the field into great young men. But we have to ask the question here: if that campus was that bad that he wanted to go out there and air that on his social media platform for the world to see, IG, did he not? Was that his first time being on that campus? Because if that's the case, then I can't be mad at that university, even though shame on them for not having proper living facilities for those students on that college campus. I don't even want to talk about the things you know I've seen while in the barracks, whatnot. But nevertheless, it's just like, Ed, you got to. That's common sense. Hey, check the facility out, walk around, make sure, hey, this is what you're going to want to be around. And hey, I'm Ed Reed. I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm not about to coach a P5 school. I'm coaching at. I'm about to coach a HBCU, which we all know don't have the funds like the big P5 schools, the Texas A&Ms, the Ohio States, the Miami University of Miami's, the Bamas. It don't even have the University of Ohio where I went to school at. Plain and simple. We know that. But does Ed Reed know that? Or at least I do. Does Ed Reed know? Because again, if that was his first time on that college campus and he spazzes out like that, again, for an elder man, I would think he would have some, better impulse, better self-control. Because again, I've already stated this. You wouldn't want your players in the locker room airing out your battle cries before you go and play this team, Jackson State, Savannah State. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want that. You wouldn't want that, would you? Because there are certain things you just don't do. It's, hey, you teach these kids like Dion, hey, you ain't gonna be sagging your pants. You ain't gonna wear no wife beaters in the classroom. You ain't gonna be wearing no slides. There's certain things you tell these kids you wouldn't be doing yourself. Again, look, I love the brother's passion, Ed Reed's passion. Nothing wrong with that at all. But what I'm saying here is this, is that there is a way to conduct yourself. He may have been well-intentioned, but, and I've said this, I've said it 1,000 times. It is absolute 1,000% true. The only employer that matters, the only opinion that matters is your employer, unless you're self-employed. Then you can say and do whatever the F you want to do. Plain and simple. You were about to get a check from an HBCU to coach. Does it not dawn on you that you just can't do that? Again, I would not have fired Ed Reed. I've been on record to say this times and times and times again. I would have never fired Ed Reed. But damn right, we would have had a conversation behind closed doors. Hey, man, look, check this out. Number one, talking about, well, let me backpedal. If I was AD, athletic director, hey, I was the one running that, HBCU, hey, I would find a way to make sure that those living conditions weren't what we saw on what's been trend over Twitter and whatnot. Students from the HBCU have been blasting the administration, talking about how They haven't been, making sure we begin receiving the proper dorms, you know, I guess dorms room. What we call that in the military when the barracks need? Yeah, dorms room work orders. That's what we call them. Work orders. There's no work orders being done. There's mold, mildew everywhere. This is completely unacceptable. Um, but Ed, you can't do that, man. Maybe you can do it at another university, but not there. And again, I would not have fired that brother, but I'm not the athletic director. Whoever that fired him, I'm not. That's not. I'm not. You're not. So, hey, he's the one that makes the whatever mutual agreement that they didn't agree on, and he parted ways. Hey, I'm sure Ed will be fine. I see him all the time on commercials. He's got many endorsements. I'm sure he'll get another college coaching gig. But until then, Ed Reed, um, this is just an experience. You can't go out and do that type of stuff. It doesn't matter how intentioned you are. Plain and simple. How well intentioned you are. I think I've already beat the nail on the head with that. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the like. As I'm streaming on YouTube right now. Unfortunately, it's not linked to my other streaming platform. Therefore, it's a little rough around the edges. But hey, um, okay, K Maurice, I appreciate that for you clarifying me. Yes, I guess I'm crazy for misspeaking, but nevertheless, my man, um, Ed Reed can't do that. He can't do that. In fact, no one can do that unless you are ready to be, willing to get fired, or those contract talks. They're ready to get shredded because he apparently probably writes the check. He's the one that can. Hey, even though you're a Hall of Famer, Ed Reed probably makes has made more money than the president that fired that parted ways with him. He's probably, but he don't give a damn because hey, I'll call the shots. Just because you're a Hall of Famer doesn't mean that you can come up in here and blast me. Bottom line is that Ed Reed embarrassed that entire administration. He embarrassed his president. He embarrassed the people that make every final decision on that HBCU. Plain and simple. And that's one way you can't do. You can't be reckless with your passion, if you call it. Trust me. Look, how many times have I seen somebody be well intentioned in the military? And my God, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In the words of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, it doesn't matter. They don't give a damn. Just saying, you got to be very careful who you pee off because they might put a bad word in for you down the line. Plain and simple. These HBCUs, these college campuses, it's like the military. They're all interconnected. They know each other. Like I said about Shannon Sharp, somebody made a phone call from probably ESPN or Fox Sports. Hey, you remind him who he is. He's got a podcast that we're putting a lot of money into on YouTube, Club Shay Shay, almost 1 million subscribers. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to end this right here, right now, move on to the next one. We're going to talk some ball and whatnot. If I were you guys, I would that watch Undisputed and whatnot consistently. I don't. Shannon Sharp is going to be two things. He's going to get a contract extension with Fox Sports, or he's going to step off and do his own thing because that podcast he's got on YouTube is blowing up, but it's getting a lot of money back into it by Fox Sports. So he has to toe the line and be very careful of what happens, how he conducts himself. Trust me, because all these people, and I do want to add, the people that participated in the poll that voted yes, I appreciate that. I appreciate that because that told me that you guys would have done the same thing. But you know what you don't have, which I didn't put in the poll because that was not the point. The point where his actions justified. I think the majority of you all voted yes. You do realize Shannon Sharp has social stats that you don't have. So you and I will work the 9 to 5, go to a NBA game, get into it with a fan, we'll get ejected. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. We'll see a brother that was tossed out when Draymond Green and them was getting into it. It was a brother for the Utah Jazz game a while back, a couple months ago, I think. And Draymond Green had that brother ejected. Well, it wasn't reported on these mainstream media outlets, but that brother did in fact get his reimbursement by that Utah Jazz and whatnot, and he was taken care of. But they never said that on national TV because it didn't fit the narrative. Plain and simple. I saw that when I saw that brother. When I heard Draymond Green call him the NIG, I was like, oh yeah, I already know what time it is for Draymond Green. I already know what time it is. But again, you guys want to cheer and applaud and say, hey man, he can do no wrong. But you do that, you get ejected, you'll get banned for life. You'll get banned for life. So all those people that want to agree with what he did, hey, by all means, go ahead and get banned. Go ahead and blow up on your social media and be like, F this, man. I don't even need these tickets, man. F this thing, blah, blah, blah. Nah, fam, keep that same energy when you said that, he was justified. Remind you, he makes millions of dollars and he works for a big time sports media company. You don't. You have a 9-to-5 job or, whatever job you have, and you don't have his social status. We've already seen it. We've already seen it before. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna just keep it real. Shannon Sharpe is very lucky he's not a white man because he was white. I'm not saying that he is, but if he was a white man, bro, he would have been slandered, slaughtered. I already know. I've seen it all the time. We've seen it all the time. Who was that white man that had a stake in the Golden State Warriors game franchise whenever they were playing the Toronto Raptors in the NBA Finals that pushed off Kyle Lowry's hand? And we saw that white man still his stake in the franchise. He had like a 5% stake in the Golden State Warriors. Man, come on. We know what time it is. Shannon Sharpe is very fortunate he wasn't white because he would have been dragged. And that apology, he would have donated to some BLM charity. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real, but he's not. Anyway, I've already went off on my rant about that. Let's talk ball. Let's get into these comments. In fact, let's go ahead and plug it up. Let's get some people to call in. All right, now. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right, we're going to talk ball right here, right now. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and put the number in the chat. Comment. Boom. There you go. You can call in at 614-953-6664 to talk ball with me right now. Now, the Sunday following the conclusion of the Chiefs and Jaguars game and Bengals and who they play? Bills, excuse me. The line was set at, I believe, 2.5 for the Chiefs at home in Arrowhead. But after the high ankle sprain to Patrick Mahomes, that line moved to, I think, 1 point in the Bengals' favor. Now, I'm of the mindset, I'm of the belief that that line was only moved because of a key injury to a significant player on the Chiefs, that being Pat Mahomes. Let me tell you something. That line is not going to move. That line is not going to move at all unless there was a significant injury to Pat Mahomes. It wasn't because they beat the brakes off the Bills, which I said the Bengals were going to do. In fact, I've been saying it, since they did that whole restructuring of the playoffs when they didn't play that game against the rescheduled the game between the Bengals and the Bills. I said, Cincinnati, instead of effing complaining, go out there to Buffalo and beat the Bills, which they did. Now, go to Cincinnati, go to Arrowhead, Barrowhead, as y'all want to call it, and I see what Eli Apple's doing. Eli Apple is a dog in these Twitter streets. I mean, he is absolutely going in on the Buffalo Bills. And why I don't know why he's not going to draft for the things he said, referencing Damar Hamlin. Hey, we all know what time it is. But Cincinnati, you got to go up in there, put the heat on Pat Mahomes, throw some strong safety override blitzes, some of those some fire zone blitzes. turning up on him because he's not 100% healthy, beat him, then beat either the 49ers or the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I've been saying that. And so far they've been doing me right. I've been saying it all year. Now you got ESPN and all these talk shows that crown Josh Allen, who I was on top of like toothpaste on ice the entire year. Now, Denzel Fenwick, why do you say it with so much passion, so much, authority? Because people say I'm a hater of the black quarterback. They say I hate black quarterbacks. What you mean? Oh man, you always talking down about Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Jalen Hurtses, the Cam Newton. Did you not hear me talk about Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Zach Wilson? Go look at my archives. I slaughtered Josh Allen this entire effing year. And for some people to say I'm racist, I hate the black quarterback, I'm sorry. You're just full of plain and simple. Yeah, man. I said that Brady's best options were either in Las Vegas or Miami because of the weapons around him. Doug Wood, 983, 100%. 100%. Trying to think here. Eagles defense or Niners offense? I don't know, man. Eagles defense, 100%. You know why? Because they're fast on the outside. They have three, I think, James Bradbury, CJ Gardner-Johnson. Who's the other dude? CJ Gardner-Johnson. What's his name? Oh yeah, and Darius Slay. I think they can give those receivers a tough time for the Niners. Juwan Jennings is not a number one. Brandon Ayuk is not number one. Deebo Samuel is not number one. I've been saying this all year. Tanya, I think that's your name. How you doing? What's up? But no, Cincinnati, you've got to put the pressure on Pat Mahomes. You know why? Because Pat Mahomes is going to be limited. And I've been saying this, and go look at my archives, everybody that thinks I'm just blowing smoke and just, rambling. I've been saying this. I said, you cannot win with running quarterbacks in this league, playoffs, Super Bowls. It's never happened. I don't want to hear about Russell Wilson and the Legion and how you guys exclude everyone except for Russell Wilson in that Super Bowl against the Broncos. I don't want to hear about Big Ben. I don't want to hear about Cam Newton because he lost. I don't want to hear about Doug Williams from 1988, I think, when he won the Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins, because he was a pocket passer. I don't want to hear about none of that. You cannot win with guys like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Cam Newton, obviously. Been saying that. People got mad at me in 2016 when I said that he was gonna struggle and he was gonna be out of the league by the time he was 30, roughly 30. Look who he's at now, 33 years old, going on 34. Where's he at? Out the league. Because he couldn't throw from the pocket. And why are you saying all this, man? You were talking about the Chiefs and the Bengals AFC title game. Yes, I was. Check this out. Pat Mahomes cannot throw from the pocket. He is not a true pocket passer. Plain and simple. He has to be outside the pocket in order to make the majority of his plays. Warren Moon, best black QB. Okay, Randall Cunningham. But yeah. You've got to win playing in the pocket, and the Bengals have got to keep him in the pocket. Have the big arm quarterback go through his progressions, dissect the coverage, throw it in the teeth of the defense. Have Mahomes do that, and you win this ball game. You've already beat him 3 times. So what's the difference? Oh, he's on one good leg, his non-throwing leg where he can't step off. Plain and simple. Now, Joe Burrow, just keep doing Joe Burrow things. I said in my archives, go look it up. I said, Joe Burrow is the only quarterback that rivals Pat Mahomes. Why do you say that? Because he's beaten him 3 times in a row. And he is the epitome of what you need in order to beat these elite defenses like the the Philadelphia Eagles, the 49ers. He is that dude. Henny, stop it. Doug, stop. Because Henny took a team 98 yards, or was the quarterback during that drive. Can we stop it? It was one freaking drive. Man, I'm sitting here listening to these people talk about how that was proof that Andy Reid can win with anybody. Are you kidding me? What did Andy Reid win before he had Pat Mahomes as a head coach in the NFL? Don't tell me about Don McNabb. He went to 4 NFC Championship games and 1 Super Bowl. Well, he lost. He lost. Don't tell me Michael Vick, the Dream Team, because they lost. Jalen Hurts, Burt 000. He's questioning. Well, we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see, Burt, if Jalen Hurts can end up winning against the that vaunted defense of the 49ers. Now, what he has that is going to expose the 49ers if they don't get to him in time is he has receivers that can win on one-on-one matchups. Look, we're going to rotate coverage over to AJ Brown's side and force him to go to put the ball in the hands in between the defense to Devontae Smith, who I'm very questioning. I have been saying it all year. I'm very skeptical of the chemistry between Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith. Plain and simple. Humble says Casey's defense struggled with Denver's putrid offense twice to finish the season. Aren't stopping Cincy. Well, my man, they have lost 3 straight games to Cincy. They can't get Joe Burrow to throw an interception. I mean, he has an 8-1 TD to INT ratio against them in the 3 games, but they cannot get Joe Burrow on the ground and stayed on the ground. He also says the advantage Cincy has, and while they'll win, is Lou Anarumo and the defensive advantage. Of course. If you look at the defense they play against Pat Mahomes, well, they don't have to, but they might if he seems to be playing better than what reports are at with his ankle is that they'll typically drop send 3 after him. They'll drop another one on the linebackers in coverage or in spy to force him to stay in the pocket. And that's when he'll press. That's what you do with big-time quarterbacks. Don't blitz them. Get 3 or 4 pass rushers on them. Drop the rest in coverage. Force them to dissect the defense. Fit into the tight windows. Which, look, it is very funny how ESPN and everybody now is starting to respect Cincinnati and Joe Burrow. I could assure you that these folks had all the, special access passes to the team facilities. They were up and close with these teams, but no, you got the casual sports fans, the ones that are vested into the game, don't have the luxury of having all these privileges to talk to these NFL players, sitting here making better analysis and schemes and takes on the game. I've been saying this all damn year. So have several others, but you won't see that on these big time shows. Now, when push comes to shove, now we care about Cincinnati, who I said was going to be in the Super Bowl against Dallas, and I stand by that. Look, I don't apologize for being wrong. I admit that I was wrong. I don't apologize for picking the wrong team. Hope they bring them some exotic blitz with Hilton like they did with Allen. He'll give the ball up. Yeah, I mean, given the fact that the man's not going to be 100% healthy, I don't give a damn what the Chiefs report is about Pat Mahomes. He's not 100% healthy. We saw that fucking ankle. Excuse my language. We saw that ankle get twisted. Where does Gesicki go? Well, if Tom Brady, who was seen in Miami taking his kids and rolling his kids to a school there, if I'm correct, Tom Brady could actually be a Miami Dolphin, and he might actually want Gesicki to still be there because Gesicki can be a legitimate top 5 tight end. He might end up staying, but then again, I have to look at his cap situation. I don't know his cap. But yeah, you got all these people now starting to realize that Cincinnati and Joe Burrow and their roster is built to win now. I mean, did we not see what Allen is all year, they weren't going to beat Cincinnati. They weren't going to come close to being Cincinnati Sunday. And a couple weeks ago, before that unfortunate situation happened on the field involving Damar Hamlin, they weren't going to beat Cincinnati, and it wasn't even going to be close. So let's stop the cap. I'll tell you. I'll tell you now. I'll tell you. Oh man. Ain't they some bandwagon fans now? Josh Allen's only popular because they hate Lamar. K Kane 36. What do you mean, my man? Please elaborate, homie. Please elaborate, homie. Please elaborate, man. Please elaborate, man. Please elaborate. Hey, if you want to call in, it's 614-953-6664. Again, that is 614-953-6664. If you want to call in to speak ball on the phone right now, they calling it Burrowhead. I love that. Yeah. I mean, when you're 3-0, really 2-0. Actually, you're 1-0 in Arrowhead, and you're 2-0 against Mahomes at home. But nevertheless, I understand. Bengals most underrated, Bills most overrated. Of course they are. Of course they are. If you cannot, look, I love Josh Allen. All right. I told you about the fan that don't trust him, Tana. Don't trust him. Don't trust the bandwagon. Don't trust them because they're all imposters. Oh man, Joey B. Man, he's slowly taking over. Yeah, if he wins the Super Bowl, I'm putting him above Mahomes. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. But the only reason I don't have him above Mahomes is because he hasn't won a damn Super Bowl. You've done everything you need to, Joe Burrow. Get this Super Bowl ring, and I'll put you above Mahomes. Plain and simple. Don't trust those bandwagon fans that disrespect that small market team up in Cincinnati, the city on 7 hills. Oh, yeah, I've been to some Cincinnati ball games. Trust me, I have. So that's why I know about that. Don't trust them. Don't them. Coming in here, say, oh, man, Joe, man, damn, they're You should have seen the Bills GM making the statement talking about how, I don't want to suck that bad in order to get a Jamar Chase. Well, damn it, you traded away your pick that was Justin Jefferson to the Vikings for Stephon Diggs. Really? Oh man, I tell you now, these GMs, man, they just be putting themselves in a deeper and deeper hole when they speak to the media. Tana, no Ohio fam in the house tonight. Yeah, we got a little homers. Ken Dorsey's horrible. Bill's secondary hospitalized. Only reason they look trash. Can we stop it? Humble. Just admit the Bengals were the better team. Stop giving them excuses. Stop it. They weren't saying that when they were beating the brakes off other teams with Ken Dorsey as the OC. So stop. What you really need to do is you need to question why the hell Ken Dorsey didn't have Nyheim Hines run the damn ball. Why the hell you got a 6'5" freak of nature run the damn ball all the time? Do you want another Andrew Luck? Do you want your franchise to be like the Indianapolis Colts right now? I tell you, you're making excuses tonight. Do you want to be the next Indianapolis Colts if you're a Bills fan right now? Stop it. Go look at my archives. I've been saying this. Josh Allen, he's placed out. He has a very reckless football IQ. Very reckless. Big time arm. Sling it. Can shrug off the sack like the Big Bens and the Andrew Lucks. But he has Andrew Luck's reckless IQ, which got Andrew Luck right out of the damn NFL at 29 years old. So stop it. I tell you now, do you guys not watch football? Or do you just watch it because these guys are freaking natures with all their fucking tangibles that you can't coach, which is their height and their athletic ability? Plain and simple. That's the only thing you can't coach. Jesus. Get back in these comments. Since he's better, but Bills are better than KC. Can we stop it? Doug Wood, how come they won't show him his face? Because, look, I don't want to allege anything, but It is possible that the media could be deceiving us right now about Damar Hamlin. It is very possible. It is very possible. It is very possible. Very possible. Joe has a lot of weapons. Stump grinder. Yeah, of course he does. I'm Ohio and a 38-year-old Bengals fan. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You guys have something to root for finally. I mean, you guys were suffering after Carson Wentz, TJ Houshmandzadeh, Chad Ochocinco, Cedric Benson, you know, um, then you had AJ Green, Andy Dalton. You guys were suffering for a long time. You guys were suffering a long time. If you guys are here, hit that like button, hit that follow button. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk ball. But yeah. Loose schemes to stop Kelsey and Pacheco. They route KC. I did say that if there's going to be a blow, it's going to be that Bengals and KC game. I did state that when I went live the other day. I said that's the only time they go. That's the only game that's going to be a blowout this week. But I think the reason will also the Chiefs have a weapon that I think people forgot about. Yeah. The Chiefs have a weapon that I think people forgot about. Remember the name Justin Ross? Anybody? Justin Ross? Well, I don't want to say it like he's going to play. Justin Ross should have been a first-round draft pick, but he had health issues coming out of Clemson. He played alongside T. Higgins and Trevor Lawrence at the University of Clemson. But Justin Ross is on that roster. 6'3", 6'4", can stretch the field. He's a true number one, has that talent, but he got hurt when they picked him up during, I think, the supplemental draft, if I'm correct. And with that being said, if he was playing this game, and we don't really know how good he is because we haven't seen him play, but I do believe he has elite wide receiver talent. Just go look at him when he was playing alongside T. Higgins with Clemson. He was on that team that routed Crimson Tide. Do you think weather will affect San Francisco game? It could. Yeah, 4-2 Justin. No, not Justin Ross. He's another one. He's Justin Ross. He's that's 5'11". He's 5'11". This other Justin Ross is 6'3", 6'4". He's taller. Nah, not John Ross. Justin Ross for Clemson. He was Clemson. He didn't get drafted because he got hurt in Clemson, and a lot of teams just passed up on him in the draft this past year. But yeah, I think if he was playing and he had shown what he can do, the Chiefs picked him up because he was a steal. Now, I didn't like that. I didn't even like them drafting Sky Moore out of Western Michigan. I wanted to draft that brother, Jameson Williams, who was recruited to go to the Ohio State University, and then he went and transferred to the Alabama Crimson Tide, University of Alabama. You worried about Mahomes' injury, Matt? Yes. Matt asked if I worry about Mahomes' injury. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I am worried about it. I don't know if Pat Mahomes can throw from well, Mahomes has not shown me in his entire career, even though it's been prolific, he can consistently throw from the pocket. I'm not talking about stepping out of the pocket. Within the pocket, as the pocket breaks down, Burrow likes to step up. Can he step up into the pocket, or is he going to want to, try to hobble outside the pocket, extend play, throwing it like some sidearm? Mahomes has shown me that he can throw in the pocket, so I don't believe they're going to win this game. The Bills should pick up Josh Cribbs in the offseason. They need a run game. Well, their cap situation would not, I don't think, favors them. I think next year Josh Allen counts against 40 million. He counts 40 million against the cap. Josh Allen. Next year, Von Miller counts like 20, damn near 20 million against the cap. The Bills are going to be in a big offseason cap hit jam this offseason. They're not going to be able to make a lot of moves. So Josh Allen sounds sexy, but no, they can't. They're not going to be able to pick him up. His line got to play great from Mahomes to be at his best. Yeah. The D line's going to get after him. Spags going to have to dial up with the pressure because we know those corners are terrible for the Chiefs, although they've been playing pretty decent. Jalen Watson, who I've been critical of out of FSU, Fayetteville State, Hey, he's proved me wrong, Jalen. Yeah, true, but they need a run game bad. The Chiefs do, yes, they do. They need to stop drafting these small school running backs. They need to. Who's your favorite team? Mine is still Stump. My name is not my name. My favorite team is what do you call it? Washington Commanders. I keep forgetting what you call it, Commanders. Thoughts on Will Levis hype. Bro couldn't beat out Sean Clifford. I mean, fourth round prospect. Yeah. Will Levis is going to go higher. You know why? Because of his tangibles. That being the physical side of him, being 6'4", 240, probably 235 right now. He'll probably, bulk up another 10 pounds. So he'll throw really well at the combine. He'll look really good in the Under Armour and the heartbeat sensor. And while he's doing all the drills, he'll probably run a solid 4.7, 4.6, low 4.6. He'll make all the nice little, cone drill throws and all that shit to his receivers that are also running drills for him in tight shorts and whatnot. He's going to impress all the scouts just because of how how freak of a nature he is. So yeah, he's going to get overdrafted. The hype is unreal, and I'll probably go to somebody like the Colts. Now I was talking. Oh shit, what we talking about? Scroll back up here. Bengals win Super Bowl makes the best ending for any NFL Cinderella story. Doug, I disagree. I don't think the Bengals are a Cinderella story. Now I was talking about the Bills, Pachacchio or whatever his name is. He is he. I'm not sure what you mean, man. His cannon and size. One crazy video of him throwing with no defense. Hey, Matt, that's what the combine is, homie. It's a track meet, man. It's where these dudes go and they showcase their athletic abilities in athletic apparel. It's like how many times have we seen a running back, wide receiver, quarterback be taken in the first round, be a bust because they ran a 4.2. Man, damn. He bench pressed 225 40 freaking times. Vernon Golson was one of the most dominant, highly rated prospects coming out of University of Ohio State, the Ohio State University in the late 2000s. And he flopped in the NFL, but he flopped because, well, he impressed really well at the combine, ran very well, threw up the rack like 45 freaking times, had like a freak athlete, NBA hybrid type of vertical jump, and he flamed out. These guys are like fanboys of these guys because of their athletic ability. It's like, can you set aside, yeah, oh man, dude, he's a freak of nature. He's a specimen. Can you sit that to the side and be able to actually evaluate this guy's film, look at his strength of schedule? Was he in a 3-4 or 4-3 technique type of dude? As a receiver, Quentin Johnson. Can Quentin Johnson run every route tree? His catch radius is large because he's obviously 6'4", but is he a true number one receiver, or is he another Kevin White out of West Virginia? You know what I mean? Quentin Johnson, I don't think he's going to be a burner when he runs the 40. He'll probably roll a low 4.5, a low 4.4, like a 4.7, 4.8. Because he does look like he has north-south speed just by looking at some of his film, his competition. I'm like, when he took that freaking short drag route and just took it up the seam when a DB came in just at a bad angle, he looked like he was a 4.4 guy, 4.5, 4.4. Quentin Johnson will probably be drafted very high because of his intangibles or his tangibles, which are him being 6'4", 215. It's funny now. People are starting to say he's like a Julio Jones. No, not Julio Jones. That's Marvin Harrison Jr. But to me, Quentin Johnson, I think he's a solid receiver, but I wouldn't draft him in the first round. But then again, hey, I'm not the one running the scout. I'm not no scout for a team. It's just funny how they get these things year after year wrong. Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, you name it, DBs. Yeah. Yeah, you can't teach a keeper how to play in situation football. That's where you see what's inside of him, says Humble. Yeah, man, you're right. You're right. You're right. Um, Scroll back up here. Matt says he just look poor this year, like really poor. I don't get it. Yeah. Baby Drag said, "How do you feel about Brock Purdy leading the offensive rookie of the year?" Um, I mean, he's a quarterback of the 49ers who happens to be coached by Kyle Shanahan. So, with that being said, um, he benefits from having one of the second best play caller in all of football, right behind Andy Reid, in my opinion. Um, I just wish that to me, I think either Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, or uh, Kenneth Walker, because he made the postseason. He was a running back for the Seattle Seahawks. I can see them giving it to Brock Purdy just because he's coached by Kyle Shanahan. His team is one win away from reaching the Super Bowl. And the Cinderella story this kid has had, I don't agree with it, but hey, I'm not the one casting the vote. Matt says, so why aren't they relying on film against SC talent more than the combine? Because, homie, these dudes they forgo all that. They get really enamored with when they're up close with these dudes that tower over these guys, these scouts. They're like, oh my god, man, you see him? He's a freak of nature. Like, well, I know he got his tail whipped by Georgia, Tennessee, Ole Miss, but man, my God, he could be the next. To me, Will Levis might end up being the next Carson Wentz. He might have a couple good years in the league, and then knock on the wood, hope he doesn't get hurt, and he'll never produce. Carson Wentz needs to just be handed a clipboard or a suit and tie and talk football for ESPN. That dude asked, what should the Cowboys do with Zeke? I think they should trade him and get a good RB in free agency. They're not going to be able to trade Zeke for anything. There's no value in Zeke. The teams know Zeke is done. Like, Zeke is probably playing on a league minimum contract. If he's at all still on the Dallas Cowboys roster, or if he's not a Dallas Cowboy. So trading him, in my opinion, for what? What are you going to get out of him? HomePod said, yeah, I already read that. What's going on, Nick? My man says, Huddy people says, what's going to happen to Dak? No team going to take him unless they're desperate. I mean, they could get rid of Dak, but they're not going to do that. Cowboys not going to do that. Jerry Jones not going to do that. They're not. They should probably fire their head coach, Mike McCarthy, go after Sean Payton, but they're not going to do that either. They could actually package Dak and send him off to a team that needs a quarterback, like the New York Jets, but they're not going to do that. Or the Houston Texans, but they're not going to do that. Yeah. What you talking about? Cowboys need a slot wide receiver that can get open with ease, so that could get it out early and build confidence. They already have that. They got CeeDee Lamb. I don't think CeeDee Lamb is a true number one. But he's like CeeDee Lamb to me. He's like a God. Who is he like? He's like a Jeremy Maclin, where he doesn't pose that threat where we have to double this guy like some of the older receivers, like obviously the Julio Jones, Antonio Browns, the Dez Bryants, the Terrell Owens, the Anquan Boldens, the Andre Johnsons, the Chad Johnsons. He doesn't have that, about him where he can literally wreck your entire game plan on defense. You got to honestly scheme him up, which is why he had a breakout year this year. Kellen Moore decided to move him in the backfield, motion him with some jet sweeps, really free this man up because he's not a guy who could just line him up on the outside and say, hey, man, do your thing. Christian Watson is him. Christian Watson is him. Really. Well, man, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. OC was the reason we fell short. Well, yeah, man, you could have use Dak's legs more. I don't know why this is happening. Um, they need like a Renfro type of guy or like an old Wes Welker type target. Um, well, now that you said that, I saw something that the Las Vegas Raiders are looking to move Hunter Renfro and or Darren Waller. What's up, Russell Wilson? What a disappointment! Everything they gave to get him. Stunt man, I've been saying Russell Wilson is not that dude, but now everybody wants to say, "Oh, it's because he's older. He's 34, about to be 35. He's lost a step." No, he was cared about the leads on defense, plain and simple. Jeez. No head coach of any notoriety is going to want to go coach him in Denver. Plain and simple, because they see what they got to go through in order to deal with that cat. Russell Wilson, I'm referring to. Those of y'all that tune in, hit that like button, hit that follow button. If you guys want to contribute at all tonight, you can cash up a Breath of Fresh Sports Podcast. Excuse me, Breath of Fresh Sports Podcast. Breath of Fresh Sports Podcast. Yeah, I'm struggling. Don't even ask me why or how. Russell Wilson was system QB. Possibly had a strong run game, strong defense. Hey, that wouldn't be bad for Dallas. Getting Renfro wouldn't be expensive. Yeah, I could see them doing that. He could fit in Dallas. If some crazy reason Brady go to Vegas, they not trading Renfro. Possibly. Who knows? Wilson hasn't been the same after his hand injury. Man, hell God, stop. Stop making excuses. Niners to the bowl. Yeah, possibly. Possibly. I could definitely see that. Who do you think will get Sean Payton? Oh, man, that's a good one. For some reason, I can still see him going to the I could see Sean Payton going to. I don't see Sean Payton going to the Denver Broncos. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. I can see him going to the Houston Texans. For some reason, I can honestly see him going to the Houston Texans, possibly Carolina, but he's going to need to have a quarterback or be in a position to draft a quarterback, one that he can trust and count, that he believes he can coach up. Like, in my opinion, Payton is not going to the Chargers because the Chargers teammates effed him over by vouching for Brandon Staley to still be the head coach. He's not. Giovanni says or asks, what do you think about the possibility of Aaron Rodgers being traded, according to Adam? Yeah, I see the rumors. He could be a New York Jet. Aaron Rodgers could be a New York Jet. And honestly, I think he fits in that. He can answer the media. Because I said Derek Carr would not be able to fit in New York because of the media. The media would absolutely destroy him. Aaron Rodgers has a personality. He can handle the media scrutiny and getting beat up all damn day. Not to mention they got receivers that he can get the ball to. They got a solid defense, a style run game. But they're going to probably have to give up one of those receivers when they trade, if they trade for Rodgers and their first round. So they're going to be very careful how they going to pretty much sell out for only 2 or 3 years. That's very true, Nick. You could be right. Brady gets to choose, ain't going nowhere without weapons. Yeah. He's got Oakland, he's got Miami. In my opinion, those were his best options. Yep. Question, you guys think Lamar Jackson stays or he gets traded? You think Lamar Jackson stays or he gets traded? You think Lamar goes to the Jets? Come on, homie. Hey, that's what you think, but I think he stays. I think he stays. I think he stays. I think he stays. Lamar can't get those receivers the ball. He would waste those receivers. Lamar Jackson would waste the talent of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Plain and simple. Lamar is a lion. He is, but he's got a few seasons left in the league. Apparently, he turned down $133 million. Apparently. Those of y'all tuning in, hit that like button, hit that follow button if you like what you heard. I appreciate the support and the engagement in the chat. The Lions are not giving up Jared Goff for Lamar Jackson. Stop it. Again, he will waste those receivers. Terrible. Terrible take. Thoughts on Devontae Smith? Devontae Smith is a legit wide receiver. I've been saying that, in my opinion, he runs a route tree better than AJ Brown. It's just there's no rapport between him and he and Jalen Hurts. Jared Goff, yes, is a better pocket passer, is a better passer overall than Lamar Jackson. Yes, I said it. And go ahead and try to slander him with it, but he would waste those receivers in Detroit. And they would have to build their entire offense around him. Do you guys realize that there's a specific offense that Lamar Jackson needs in order to thrive in the National Football League? Plain and simple. So you can't get cute and fetish and fantasize over him. Yes, I said it. I said both of those F words. You cannot do that because his skill set wouldn't allow it. You would have a receiver blown up with Stephon Diggs to Josh Allen on Sunday. Oh, man, that would happen every damn week. Every damn week with Lamar Jackson. They just wouldn't be covering it because they wouldn't want to put Lamar Jackson in that spot on this ESPN, oh, man, we stand with Lamar Jackson. No. Lamar has no weapons except Mark Andrews. Let me tell you something, that dude. You do realize there's a thing called free agency, right? Wide receivers can go to, teams that will entertain them the most. And there's a reason why teams are not signing up, guys are not signing up to go play for Lamar Jackson. There's a reason. Because he can't get them the ball. The offense, they don't want to freaking go out there and block all the damn time for Lamar Jackson. They don't. They need the ball to make big time money. If they don't have the big time stats, they can't get big time money. Hell, Christian Kirk got $17 million a year in Jacksonville. Are you kidding me? Chris Kirk got $17 million a year in Jacksonville. You think he's going to go to Baltimore and get that type of money? Baltimore's going to have it, but he's not going to want to go to Baltimore because he's not. It's going to be the same thing with Marquise Hollywood-Brown, which those two play exactly the same. They're deep guys, sluggos, stop and go. I mean, Chris Kirk, to me, is not worth $17 million. He showed him when he dropped that pass that could have stepped a touchdown. Jack should have beat the Chiefs. They took the fourth of gas. They had no answer for Travis Kelce. But anyway, I'm going to get back on point. Nobody wants to go play for Lamar Jackson. No receiver. Plain and simple. Lamar is not. Stop. Again, you're going to get enamored with his ability to run the ball. How many times we see guys that are dual-threat quarterback get burnt and run through the mud because they get banged up all the time? You heard it right here. You heard it right now. I'm going to say this right now. And you all can quote me on this. Lamar Jackson has approximately 3 good years left, and he's done. He's done the National Football League. I give him 3 to 4 years. He just turned 26 in January. Yeah, so about 29. Yeah, okay, yeah. He's got about 3.5 good years left, and he's done. Unless he evolves his game. Yeah, DeMar, look, if they wanted to show DeMar, which they have done specials on, they could have trotted him out on the field and all this stuff. But it is very questionable. The media did this themselves. Let's not bash all these people that are having these quote-unquote conspiracy theories. They did themselves when they did that. Why was there a lady in a blue coat standing in the entry whenever DeMar and his people came in here? It appeared to be she told them not to let the camera crew get close to DeMar. Let me tell you something. Media's at fault for this. They shoved it down your face as the consumer. You have a reason to question it. Plain and simple. Back to the point. Is Deshaun Watson playing next season? You think he would pop off? Yeah. I think he'll be I think he'll have a better season next year. Huddy, yes, I do. That dude, Lamar's getting a lot more injuries, so I can see it. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, he's got about 3.5 good seasons left. He'll be the next Cam Newton / RG3. Plain and simple. You heard it from me right here, right now. Go ahead and bookmark it. Turn the page to fast forward 3, 4, 5 years from now. No more than 4. No more than 4. When he's not outrunning secondaries with his 4.2 speed, which I believe that brother did have 4.2 speed at his peak, the epigee, the pinnacle. When he's coming to college, when he was in the best career of his best shape of his life, lean and shit. People think Lamar is great, but he is not. He is okay, says Dre 1776. Rodgers going to the Raiders to reunite with Abs. He will also get Renfrow, Waller, and Jacobs. Excuse me. Well, we'll see, man. Oh man, slipping. I'll go ahead and turn this off since this is really not even a factor anymore. Go ahead and turn it off.